here. A crazy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Rays.
Ooh, some kind of voice you got there. Sound like the Phantom.
You could call me that.
So you got a name, Phantom?
Call me Evil.
Evil? You bad, honey?
No, just evil.
Well, listen, Mr. Evil, do you have a vote for the top song of the year?
No, just a New Year's resolution. I'm going to commit murder at midnight.
Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the WayBack Movies Podcast, show where we review the best and not so best of 80s and 90s cinema, because really, fuck the 2000s. My name is Steve, and with me on this crazy journey,
Justin.
Doctor.
And
we're back for the last time in 2019 with...
last podcast of the decade!
Yeah! With,
You're going to hear that a lot from people.
Yeah. If you listen to any podcast, I guarantee you that happens on a consistent basis. But, yep, we're one of them. And yeah, we're covering one of the strangest movies we've done so far. A movie trying to jump on the holiday horror train.
To be fair, they picked one that was quite bare.
Yeah.
And is still quite bare to this day.
It is barren because we were going to cover originally just, I think, another Christmas movie. And I stumbled upon this movie. I didn't even know it existed. And then I was just like, oh, we can do a New Year's movie, because I just randomly Googled New Year's movies, and there weren't really any that were New Year's related. And then this popped up. So I was like, oh, we need to do this, because this is pretty much right up our alley. So with that being said, let's jump in the Wayback Machine to December 19th, 1980 for New Year's Evil. Okay, so it's 1980. Neither one of us is alive. So,
No.
you know,
Things happened, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
you were there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
some of you might have been. If you're listening, you were there. I'm assuming you were in a movie theater watching this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, anyone? Bueller? No? Okay.
I'm sure this movie made a whole crisp $5 in the movie.
Well, I don't know if I even have that information.
I don't think that information is publicly available, because who could care?
It is not. I've either forgotten to put the budget down, or it wasn't available. Because I know one of them wasn't available, and it might have been both of them, but neither one of them is listed here, so I don't know. If you want to look it up while I'm trying to go in through this.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, but it doesn't seem to be in my notes here, so... Anything? Nothing?
Nothing.
No, I didn't think so. Okay, so, New Year's Evil, December 19th, 1980, directed by Emmett Alston, screenplay by Leonard Neubauer. Hey, I pronounced that right. Didn't think that was the right name. Story by those two. Why reread them? I'm tired. Produced by Yoram Globus and Menhem Golan.
Yep.
Yes, it was. Production company, Golan Globus Productions, because, you know. And distributed by Canon Films. So, let's get to the cast of this. So, Roz Kelly is Diane Blaze Sullivan. Kip Niven is Richard Evil Sullivan, which is, yes, the only way you can say that.
Yep.
Chris Wallace, not that one, is Lieutenant Ed Clayton. Grant Kramer is Derek Sullivan. Louisa Moritz, I guess, is Sally. Jed Mills is Ernie Moffat. Taffy O'Connell is Jane. John Green is Sergeant Green. Fucking, how hard was that one for you guys to figure out? Jesus. Terry Copley is Teenage Girl. Anita Crane is Lisa. Jeannie Wilson as Nurse Robbie. Alicia Danafu is Yvonne. Wendy Sue Rosloff is the makeup girl. John London is floor manager. John Alderman is Dr. Reed. And Michael Frost is Larry. So, as you can imagine, there's really not much to talk about with this film. So, let's talk about the strangest one of the strangest film companies on the planet, the Cannon Group. So Cannon Films Incorporated was created on October 23rd, 1967. It was formed by Dennis Friedland and Chris Dewey while they were in their early 20s. They had immediate success in producing English-language versions of Swedish softcore porn films directed by Joseph W. Sorno, such as Inga, a.k.a. Jag, and Osklund in 1968, and To Ingrid My Love, Lisa, 1968, a.k.a. Kivenolek.
Sure.
Easy for you to say. By 1979, Cannon had hit serious financial difficulties, and Friedland and Dewey sold Cannon to Israeli cousins Menhem Golan and Joran Globus for $500,000. The two cousins forged a business model of buying bottom-of-the-barrel scripts and putting them into production. They tapped into a ravenous market for action B pictures in the 1980s, although they are most remembered for the Death Wish sequels, just the sequels, by the way, and Chuck Norris action pictures such as Delta Force and Invasion USA.
We'll get there.
And igniting a worldwide ninja craze with the Ninja Trilogy, an anthology series which consisted of Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and Ninja 3, The Domination.
Was it really a craze?
Not even a little. All starring Sho Kosugi, as well as the American Ninja franchise, which I do remember, and all of them are terrible, in a great way. One of Cannon's biggest hits was the Vietnam action B-movie Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. The film, however, was criticized heavily as being a preemptive cash-in on the Rambo franchise, which it was. James Cameron's story treatment for Rambo First Blood Part 2 was floating around Hollywood in 1983, with Golan and Globus reviewed. The writers of MIA even gave Cameron credit, saying their film was inspired by his script treatment. But Cannon had initially put the prequel Missing in Action 2, The Beginning, into production, only after the two movies were completed. The company realized that the planned second movie was superior to the first one, so the first movie produced became an awkward prequel. Because film companies. By 1986, their output reached an apex with 43 films in 1 year. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was...
Again, when I said off mic, you could probably do a whole podcast just on Cannon movies. You'd have enough material for a couple years.
That was 1 year of 43 films. That was almost an entire year of podcasting.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You could go a long time just doing,
Golan and Cannon Films were famous for making huge announcement on over-promoting movies that did not live up to expectations, or even exist. For instance, Life Force in 1985 was to be the cinematic sci-fi event of the 80s, and Masters of the Universe in 1987 was dubbed the Star Wars of the 80s.
We will definitely get there for both of those.
Oh, fuck, yes we will. Masters of the Universe. Additionally, Cannon owned the film rights to Spider-Man, and planned to make a Spider-Man film in the mid-1980s. Golan and Globus agreed to pay Marvel Comics $225,000 over the 5-year option period, plus a percentage of the film's revenue. The rights would revert to Marvel if a film was not made by April of 1990. A film never materialized.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
That would have been a spectacular mess.
The thing is, you guys, you're looking at this going, $225,000. Yeah, Marvel had gone almost bankrupt plenty of times, and doing movie sales like this is what kept them alive. The last time it happened was when they sold the rights to Sony for the eventual Spider-Man picture that happened.
Yeah.
And at the time when they sold it to Sony, and they asked them, because they optioned it for $1 million, and Marvel said, "Hey, you can have the entire rest of our comic book catalog for $2 million," and they went, "Nah, not worth it." That's how bad Marvel was at that time.
The Marvel we know now is nothing like
not
the Marvel.
a thing. Yeah, their comics were not paying the bills. By 1988, a cooling off of the film market and a series of box office disappointments, including the multi-million-dollar production of Superman 4: The Quest for Peace in 1987, whose original $36 million budget was slashed to $17 million, had once again put Cannon in financial woes. Oh, you better believe we'll get there. That fucking movie.
Well, I'm sure we'll do a whole thing
a Superman month, basically.
Yeah.
By 1988, I wrote it twice. I liked it that much, I guess. After another string of failures, including the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Cyborg, caused them to sell Canon to a French company called Pathé Communications, eventually closing their doors in 1994. The bank Canon used to get the initial capital and finance their films was Slavenberg's Bank, which had a famous case of company fraud, began in 1983 and ending in 1990, with the conviction of 4 members of the management team. Slavenberg's Bank was discovered to be regularly laundering the profits of organized crime, drugs, sex clubs, and the underworld in general.
Well, it sounds like a bank that should be in a Bond movie.
Kind of does. Kind of really does.
Like he's got to meet someone there, and there's a bad guy, and the henchman shows up, and the whole thing.
And all the while, we're getting all these weird, stupid action pictures. So the production of this film, not much here. One of several holiday-themed horror films that followed the success of Halloween in 1980. Although that was 78, so I don't know why this said 1980. Okay.
It's all the same, bro.
Yeah. The notable difference here is the murderer's face is revealed early on. He isn't
very early
until
on.
the finale of the film.
Which makes no sense.
We'll get there. Oh, God, I got to talk about that. Although, at the same time, in Halloween, his face was revealed once. Yeah. People tend to forget that.
This movie does have a twist, though. It's not like...
Sort of.
Sort of.
It's half-assed at best, but we'll get there. While Manahan and... while Gullen and Globus were... That sounds like a puppet duo. Gullen and Globus. Are credited as producers, and Billy Fine as executive producers. Really Christopher Pierce who handled the bulk of the production duties. Okay. This is how far back I'm trying to get notes for this one. The drive-in theater seems to show Herschel Gordon Lewis's Blood Feast from 1963, but it's not. The movie showing is actually The Red Queen Kills 7 Times in 1972, a.k.a. La Dama Rossa Uscida Sette Volte.
If you say so, pal.
Right. It was also distributed under the name Blood Feast, which has caused some confusion. So it's not the movie that people think it is. Director Emmett Alston has a Hitchcock-style cameo as a bearded camera operator. The song New Year's Evil, written by Roxanne Seaman and Eddie Del Barrio.
That is an unfortunate name.
Isn't it, though?
Jesus, you might want to change your name there.
Yeah, I mean, it's spelled differently, but not pronounced differently.
It's not pronounced differently, and that, my friend,
that's all you need.
Is all that matters.
Is performed on camera by the Seattle rock band Shadow, who appear as a punk rock band in the film playing the song in the opening of the movie.
So it's Shadow as Shadow?
And repeatedly throughout the recorded studio version also appears in the film. A lot.
Yeah, the song's played twice in the first, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then again another, 1 or 2 times throughout the film.
To be fair, it's a pretty decent song.
I tried to find it on Spotify. I couldn't.
It's not on Spotify.
Damn it.
I got a copy of it. I can give it to you if you want. Roger Ebert gave the film 1.5 stars out of 4 and wrote,
of course he did.
New Year's Evil is an endangered species, a plain old-fashioned gory thriller. Nope.
How wrong you were, sir. How wrong you were.
It is not very good. It is sometimes unpleasingly bloody. Nope. The plot is dumb, and the twist at the end has been borrowed from hundreds, if not thousands, of other movies. Thousands? I don't think so.
Not in 1980.
No.
Now
certainly.
In 2019, going into 2020,
yes.
Sure.
But
in
then,
1980,
not so much.
I don't even think hundreds.
No. But I can easily tell you, I guessed the twist pretty quickly. I think within the first couple minutes.
Yeah, it's not
clever.
It's not clever.
In 1980, it might have been.
Yeah.
But as thrillers goes these days, New Year's Evil is a throwback to an older and simpler tradition, one that flourished way back in a dimly remembered past before 1978. No, it didn't. I don't know where you're getting that from, but it's basically 1978. That's where this came from.
Yeah, again, slashers didn't really happen until, the mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
So what's this, history of...
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah, all those slashers from the 50s.
My guess, the only thing I can guess, it doesn't say when that this was reviewed, but my guess is this might have been a later review for him, in the 90s or something.
Like he went back?
Yeah, because, I can't... Well, no, at the same time, he was the movie reviewer, and it was a theatrical film, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Gene Siskel gave the film 0 stars out of 4, calling it a hideously ugly motion picture. He's the harder of the two.
Yeah. He's a very hard man to please.
He really is.